Uhlmann.
And I'm Trish Rainone.
And we ask you to watch My Roommate's an Escort.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Creatortown. I'm your host, Dan Spearin. With me, like always, Vince Casavamorthy. Say hi, sir.
Hello, everybody.
And we're here at the Pacific Junction Hotel on Girth Radio, broadcasting from downtown Toronto. And by broadcasting, I mean recording, because it's the internet. So this week on the show, we've got some pretty big guests. But first, we have a few things we need to talk about, Vince.
Sure.
So big news this week, IPF Round 2. They've made their selections. Round 1 is over. Amazing trailers. Everyone who did not make it to Round 2, lean on the IWCC. We want to help you out. We want you to keep making your shows despite the fact you might not get IPF funding. It's important that you still make it, so email us. Take a look at the Toronto Digital Creators Facebook page and ask people for help, because I really feel like there's so many amazing trailers that went up this year, and they obviously couldn't choose them all to go to Round 2, but there's some great projects there. Vince, I've got some more. I've got more news. More news.
What's that?
The second part of this is big. So TO WEBFEST this year. I don't know if anybody saw the hints going out on social in the last couple of days, but guess what? TO WEBFEST 2017 is at
where?
Dramatic pause. Dramatic pause. The CN Tower.
Oh.
Yes. So we get to go to the good old CN Tower and hit it up for 3 days. So the 25th to the 27th, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, end of May. So we hope to see you there. We hope you'll come out to some of the parties. And, of course, we'll be doing Creatortown all through that, interviewing you guys all throughout those 3 days. So I'm really looking forward to that. But big shout-out to the CN Tower. Thanks for having us. We're looking forward to it. This is kind of cool because we've moved around the city. We were at Harbourfront Center. We went to Bloor Hot Dog Cinema. We were at the Carlton last year in Mars. And not the Planet, but, you know, the because that would have been a step down then. It would have been hard to ever kind of compete with that. But this year's CN Tower, so it's going to be huge. But I feel like we've made our guests wait at the bar long enough. So, Vince, go grab our guests. And I'm about to give the folks a little bit of a hint on who we're talking to today. Last decade, if you told actors, just write your own thing, then raise 30 grand on the internet, and you'll be featured across Canadian media with a web series, they might have scoffed at you. But the women behind the new web series My Roommate's an Escort are carving out a new niche in Canadian media. When I made my first web series in 2007, many in the entertainment press told us, it's great, but it's just a web series. Today's guests, they're part of a new wave of creators that are making sure web series get noticed, with interviews with radio shows across the country, appearances on staples of television, like E-Talk. They're helping erase the line between internet and TV. For many, when we talk about online video, they might still think about cats on ceiling fans or cinnamon challenges, but for creators, it's about freedom. And in a Canadian arts landscape that can not only forget to incubate, but can also forget to communicate the best parts of why we're essential, web series are reminding us why people to create to begin with. The freedom to create your own path, to share your own vision without asking permission, the ache for creative freedom that has been driving the force of why Canada has ruled at web. And today's two creators have been in the center of that movement. 2015, director Katie Uhlmann's photo appeared on Now magazine under the title, Who Needs TV? That day she was interviewing and supporting the community, but now it's our turn to interview and support them. Welcome to the show, Katie Uhlmann and Trish Rainone. Hey, come on in, everybody. Come on in.
Hey, how
All right.
are you?
Yes. All right, so we're in a bar, so the great thing about being in a bar is this week we had drinks. Last week, Producer Vince, I believe you had a Long Island iced tea without the iced tea, or without the Long Island?
Without the Long Island.
So as a rebel, Megan didn't even drink anything.
No.
Katie, Trish, what do you have?
We have gin and tonic.
Yes.
Like, because we're old women. Just representing that.
There's no shame. There's no shame. I also have a gin and tonic. No, I don't. I have an iced tea. I don't drink and host.
Me too.
That's just because we're lame.
Yes,
We have to be in bed by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And responsible.
And responsible.
I respect
Responsible
that.
is very good.
Yeah.
No, like right after this interview, I'll be like, let's do rum and cokes
You're
like
gonna
old
be
men.
You're going to be swinging from that fan up there.
I will
with
be.
those lights wrapped around your ankles.
Really painted a picture for us.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the show. You're only our second ever show, so forgive us, but this is brand spanking new. I want to know, because I think everybody's seen your social pushes in the community, but for folks that find this podcast that are outside of Toronto, that are outside of this sort of like web community in the city, tell us about how the show started and just a little bit about My Roommate's an Escort.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
Started in a bar.
It started at a bar.
Well, welcome back.
I feel like we're back at the beginning. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, and we both have roommates.
Yeah.
And we are not both escorts.
No.
But, just to be
It's
clear.
not autobiographical.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And we're frustrated actors.
Yeah.
And we decided to get together and write a show.
Yeah, we just wanted to get something out there on the web, and we were like, we're going to get something out there in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Let's write something together, and then it's become a bigger thing than we anticipated.
Yeah.
So.
And the show is about a small town girl, Heather from Sault Ste. Marie.
And that's Trish.
Yeah, and I actually am from Sault Ste. Marie, so it was a really tough stretch playing that role.
So this has been awkward. This has been awkward for you to have to like do media interviews with Katie and be like, it was autobiographical for me. This is exactly my character. And Katie?
Yeah.
And you're like, thanks.
You're like, oh yeah, we ran into my childhood friend.
And he was like, "You're the escort," and I was
this
like,
was
"Oh,
months
thank
ago.
you." I'll take that as a compliment, I guess. But Heather gets a new roommate named Kesha, who played by myself, Katie, and Kesha may or may not be an escort, and Heather is like a really bad Nancy Drew, trying to get to the bottom of this mystery.
She's really passive aggressive and won't just address situations. So it's like this. The whole show is kind of like this. Her trying to figure out what her roommate is.
So, tell me more about yourself. What do you do for work?
I'm an entrepreneur.
Cool. What's your lifestyle like? Do you like to keep things clean?
Yeah, I'm really clean. I go to the walk-in clinic like twice a week.
Okay. Are you dating anyone?
No, my boyfriend and I broke up. He really dodged a bullet. But yeah, I hang out with guys. But you know what? I'll just take the room with the back door, so then you won't hear all the guys coming and going. Yeah.
And you launched it this week, so it launched on Monday on YouTube. It's going really well so far. 11
Thank you.
episodes. Tell me a bit about the process of actually getting that show made, like doing it yourself. It sounds like it took a lot of work, and a lot of us, if you haven't watched their social handles and things like that, it was an amazing crowdfunding campaign, and you all did an amazing job of shout-outs constantly on your YouTube page. Everybody who donated got like a personal hi, how are ya? There was a party at TIFF I remember seeing. So I'm going to shut up now and let you talk about the entire process of getting this actually put to screen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we started writing in January 2016. We wrote for 7 months, and then we started raising the money.
Yeah, and I think that there was some crossover in there because we started raising the money in September, and we would meet at coffee shops and harass friends to donate, and then we started like knocking. Like actually, one day we were like, "How are we going to raise this money?" So we left the coffee shop and just started walking into businesses on Ossington, and asked them for money.
Yeah, and when we launched the Indiegogo, we were really scared because we thought we would probably fail. We had so many people tell us nobody succeeds at Indiegogo anymore. You'll fail. Even after our first week, I had a friend say, statistically, you won't succeed because you didn't raise half your funds in the first week. And
so did you beat that stat? Because that stat goes around the community like
I
there's
know. I was like, why are you telling me this?
Tell us that?
Do not listen to those people. And so we just kept pushing. Like we asked everybody we knew. Our parents asked everyone they knew. You know, lost a few friends over it. Whatever.
Yeah, we just harassed people for money. What we do best.
You're on people's Facebook block list now.
Yeah, we might be. The friends went down a little bit that week.
Whatever. They come and go. Comedy is forever.
If you won't give us money, we don't need you.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of... It's funny, though, because, like, when you do those things online, it does become awkward because a lot of the times, especially in web, let's be honest, like, you start to meet people and you know them, and it starts to becoming like, I remember when I was in like grade 6, and you'd go to birthday parties and you'd be like, you gave me a $20 gift certificate, I have to give you a $20 gift certificate.
Or like Italian weddings in Sault Ste. Marie.
Sure.
We have like books back in the Sioux. Everyone has a book, and you keep track of what so and so gave you, and then you give that same amount back.
That's like me when I'm dating. I'm like, I did this for you. What did you do for me?
It's true, though. People keep track.
They do.
So anyway, sorry, back on track.
Back to your dating life. That's a whole segment.
Yes.
It's a whole other
actually
segment.
pretty interesting.
That's the next
not.
web series.
Yeah. And anyway, so we went door to door. We got Joey Nixon, who owns Adrenaline Toronto on Queen Street West, to give us a pretty generous sum of money.
Yes.
He's amazing. We shot a bunch of the scenes there. And then we met David Carruthers, who is our other executive producer. He kicked in a ton of the budget.
Yeah.
And the
Matthew Wilson.
Matt Wilson, Chanel Hellman, Calista Zacharias.
Our parents gave us
$1,000. Yeah. The producers are like, Terry Rainone, Bernie Uhlmann, Joanne Uhlmann. It's like, oh, shit.
We were like, we're not getting married, so pay
this
up.
is our wedding.
That's a brilliant idea. It's just have web series weddings. We should start like a web
Exactly.
series Tinder for the IWCC.
Oh my gosh,
You guys
that's such
need
a good idea.
gifts?
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
getting old and we are still single. So
I had no idea my origin story would start like deep nerves.
Yeah. Why are you doing this to us?
Way to bring it up.
Yeah, keep it together. So yeah, and then we did the TIFF party.
Yeah.
Raised the money,
And that set us to over 100% the
Yeah.
night of the
Oh,
tip.
yeah.
So how much in
103.
total? Almost 30 grand, right? Like pretty close.
It's been about 30
we actually
grand now
raised
with
23, I think, on Indiegogo, and then we've had David Carruthers, our
has
exec
kicked in the
producer,
rest.
top that way up.
Yeah.
So we're like, I think over 30, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because he is amazing.
Yeah.
And we got really lucky.
So what's your tip for a creator out there being like, I really want to make my dream come true here. I want to make a show. What was the thing that if you could go back, like, yeah, go ahead. Did you want to jump right away? Go ahead.
Katie said it best. In the summertime, we were waking up like every morning, and I used to bartend, so I was up to like 3 in the morning, and then we would wake up every morning, go meet in a coffee shop all day, and then go to our other jobs at night, whatever. We were always in a coffee shop if we weren't working, and Katie said, you don't get anywhere by drinking in a park.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the best advice because our friends were drinking in the park. And they were messaging us, like, come drink in the park.
And we were like, no.
We're like, no, we're going to sit in a coffee shop and, like, just try everything we can do.
I would be like, Trish, do you think that Amy Poehler and Tina Fey were drinking in parks when they were our age? No.
They were writing.
They were writing.
So.
They were working hard.
Yeah. So we just tried everything.
It's funny though too because I feel like that's you know what's really funny you say that is if you talk to YouTubers, that's a huge thing for YouTubers. Like one of the first things people will say is like once they hit a certain subscriber mark is to get an office, like rent some sort of space, any kind of space to get out of your house.
Yeah.
Because I mean the Story Girls who are big YouTubers in the Toronto scene. They did a talk once, and they were talking about straight up just, like, get in any sort of space. Like, get out of your house as soon as humanly possible because, as what you just said, it's, like, it's just, there's, like, if you drink in the park or you, like, you know, it's
or when we met at your house. I think our, like, second session was at your house, and we still got work done, but we had wine. Yeah. So then after that, we were like, okay, coffee shops. No more wine while we're working.
I don't know what it is about getting out of homes, but it feels like it's just there's something to, like, walls and a somewhat professional, even if it's a coffee shop table.
You feel like you have to get to work.
Yeah, you feel like I've got to, at least for that barista, I have to make it look like I'm doing something here, not loitering.
Yeah, I'm always self-conscious about my computer screen and, like, the people behind me. I'm like, I'm doing stuff.
Yeah, with like
Facebook.
Yeah, get off Facebook. I'm on Gmail, bitches.
They're on stocks, and we're like making silly videos of ourselves.
Escort written up on your page.
That's not what it looks like. This is a real business. We're entrepreneurs. And then anyway, we got some.
We're
really
pro
great...
tangents here. It's
It's
okay.
true.
It's
okay, good. But I just wanted to make some shout outs because
good.
we have an amazing team, and Julian Adderley, Stephanie Baird, David Carruthers and Joey were key members of that team.
Yeah, that's
and
who we're
if I could say
constantly meeting with
anything,
now.
it would be surround yourself with good people who share a similar end goal to you and who like really care about the project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One
That's
of the things
really
that
good advice.
I'm interested in as well is, so there's kind of a third rail that no one wants to talk about in web production, and you guys steered right into it, and I want to know about it.
Okay.
ACTRA.
Yeah.
Unions are it's hard. It is hard. Like, people want to include unions, but there's a lot of the money. It's just it's a big cost. How did that work out for you? Because you not only had ACTRA involved, like they were heavily involved. Like,
yes. The president of ACTRA Toronto at the time, David Sparrow, is in the series. So we're both ACTRA members, so it was our only option.
We just did all the paperwork.
We did all the paperwork.
Just stuck to the rules.
We did it under the ACTRA co-op agreement, where the talent co-owns the production.
Yeah, and it's meant to be like a
collaborative.
Explain a little bit for folks that don't know what that is.
Okay, so in an ACTRA co-op, everybody owns an equal percentage of the intellectual property. So, or not the intellectual property, but that project specifically. So there's two things. There's like the actual project, there's the web series, and then there's like the intellectual property.
When
I'm getting like way too
No, it's good. No,
complicated.
this is part for creators to like learn something. So this is important.
Okay, so like say for example you make a web series and you do an ACTRA co-op. Should you sell your web series, you can pay back the production, whatever the costs were, and then in terms of the profit, you divide it equally among the ACTRA members, and that's how that goes down. However, there's also the intellectual property of your idea. So like Trish and I came up with this idea, and a network, for example, could option the story and develop it into a TV series, and that's
on you guys. So you have that.
Katie and I.
Yeah, so we own that. So that's different. But certainly, if anything happens with what you shot, you share it among the actors, which is fair because
that is fair.
They work for free, and we got some actors that we didn't expect to get.
Yeah, we had like Ellen Dubin up from LA.
Yeah,
she's always back and forth. So it was.
Yeah,
they all brought so much to it.
So yeah, it's an affordable way when you have limited funds.
Except that everyone has to be ACTRA, and I am going to say there are limited background performers in this because
we didn't have enough money.
We didn't have enough money to pay. Like, because for background you have to pay, but not the principal actors. I think it was something like that. Anyways,
it's you'll notice in the bar scene there's a lot of like background chatter and no people. So we were like, they're just off camera.
Yeah.
But I think that it's really important that people. One of the things I think that when we get people emailing us for help or whatever, one of the things that we notice is it seems really daunting to work with unions, and I think that we're trying our best to explain these things to people, but it's not as hard as people think. It's just about
really
putting
not.
effort into it.
Yeah, you just have to print out the paperwork and fill it out and do it.
And a lot
just submit it.
And every, even a co-op, every co-op production is entitled to have one non-union person working on it. So if you were in a key role, so if you were the writer-director, but you were non-union, you could do a co-op, but you just can't be in it.
You can't be an actor. Yeah.
I think that one of the things that is, as these progress and as the web series community grows and you see more projects being made, it's always, almost always actor driven. And we see, like, even in Toronto, it's been funny because as the American shows have come back and there's more production, I've seen like a web series drop a little bit, right? Because there's so many different folks that have a strong point of view that are actors and are doing a show for the same reason you did, which was I need to do this. I want to try something different. And so it's really good to hear that, like, actors, doing more things like this and, like, really supporting you.
Yeah, they were amazing.
Yeah.
They really were. And we're really happy to have had the talent we had in the show, and we wouldn't have been able to do it if we weren't ACTRA.
All right. Let's let people get to know a little bit more about you, but I'm also curious about how much you know about yourselves.
Oh, uh-oh.
We're going to play IMDb-Because the Internet. IMDb-Because the Internet. We've looked and stalked your IMDb pages.
Gosh.
Yes, my star meter will go up by 1 this week. One person has looked me up.
Oh my gosh,
So
Trish
Trish
is an IMDb whiz. I never check IMDb.
So here we go.
This is unfair.
This is going to be interesting.
But you have like double the amount of credits. You have like 58 actress credits.
Do I see? I don't even know. I honestly don't know.
I know this stuff.
So this is going to be interesting. Our host for the evening, producer Vince, tell him how to play IMDb because the internet.
Well, it's simple. I'm going to ask some questions.
Okay.
Our crack research team here at Creatortown actually, searched your IMDb pages.
You?
Okay.
Yeah,
That was you.
Yeah.
It was you last night at 2 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, anyway, so, I've got some questions.
Sure.
And
Let's take
whoever answers the most is a better friend, right?
Yeah, that's all right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh my
There's no
God.
pressure.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
no pressure
pressure.
at all. This friendship could be over at the
You
end.
guys are really
How did
putting us on the
how did
box.
my roommates in Escort season 2 never happen? Well, they went on Creatortown.
Yeah.
And they played a
Need we
game.
say more?
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
So-
First question.
First question's actually for Trish.
Okay.
According to her IMDb page,
Yes.
Katie has played
Okay.
a sex worker once before.
Yes.
Name the character.
Okay, I know the clip because I've seen it, and she's chewing gum, and she's got a really great accent going on.
Right.
And I think it's James McDougall's film, maybe. No, it's Danny Mallon's film. Okay, I don't know the name of it,
But
I
we're
have
giving great
seen
shout-outs.
the clip,
Yeah.
and she's really great in it.
Katie,
I don't know the name. I'm so sorry.
do you remember the character's name?
Marla.
And
That is
not just
correct.
Marla, but
Just Passing Through.
not only.
Directed by Jeremy Larder.
There you
Oh.
go.
Oh, okay.
But here's my favorite.
way
Here's my
off.
favorite part about this.
But I
He
do
gave
know
you
the
a
clip.
last name, and that last name is the Hooker.
I know.
You
I'm
are
like-
Marla the Hooker.
I get so many, well, not so many, but I get a number of hooker auditions as any woman in their 20 does. And I'm
Yep.
like,
That's
I
true.
always complain about it. And then we wrote a role for me that was a hooker. I was like, I'm playing into my own issues.
Which is kind of funny, and she's
Yeah.
so sweet. Like Kesha's such a sweet,
She's
vulnerable,
actually- yeah.
cute person.
Yeah, it's
so-
a well-rounded character, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I love Kesha.
You're not just
Yeah.
the hooker this time.
Yeah.
You are a sex
You're-
worker that has feelings and
as
emotions.
they do.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, we're not trying to make
No,
fun
we're
of.
making fun of both of the girls.
Yeah.
Like Heather is a passive-aggressive girl who wears overalls.
That's worse than that.
Exactly.
I'm from Barrie, so I relate to that character way too much. It's like-
I wish I wore overalls. They were
Yeah.
so
They're
comfy.
my overalls. I actually wear them.
Yeah, those are actually cute.
so before you
I
guys
was
mug,
like, you're gonna have to wear these.
I was like, I don't think so. And then I tried them on, and I was like, damn, these are comfy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
all
I
right,
swear?
Katie.
Yeah.
So, Katie,
How good?
This is gonna be a train wreck.
here's your question.
Yes.
What movie is Trish credited as, quote-unquote, Sunshine Girl?
Swearinette.
Woo.
Directed by Warren P. Sonoda.
Yeah.
Ow! Ow!
There you go. Nicely
Am I allowed
done.
to cheer for myself?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Okay, bonus point. There are more than one Sunshine Girl in this film. Name the number.
Do you even know that, Trish? Do you know what number you play?
I
I do know, and I don't know why I got
I'm
the
guessing-
number that I did because I'm like in there for
number
a second.
1.
No, in our hearts, yes.
Yes.
Number 3.
Uh,
Number 3. Number 2.
Yes.
Do I still get it?
I think I have to say I think Warren felt really bad for me, and he was like, "This girl," like because we shot in the Sioux, and then I moved to Toronto directly after and got an agent. And was
Oh, and he's like, oh no, I know her
and he's
now.
like, "Oh no, I'm responsible for her." Like thinking she has a shot in this business, I better give her a good credit.
Oh, can we just give a shout out to Warren P. Sonoda
He's
and
so
Jen
awesome.
Pogue
I
and
love
Bernie
Jen,
Uller
too.
at the Canadian Film Festival?
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah,
You-
and
you can
I
shout
told
out
Warren he
whoever.
did inspire
Woo,
me
woo.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what, I interrupted you.
Oh, and I told Warren he did inspire me because I was living in the Sioux and I was like, I want to do movies, and then they came there and shot. So yeah, that was cool.
It's amazing what's going up north in Ontario, by the
Yeah.
way, too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Sudbury especially has gotten a whole bunch of
Oh, yeah.
love now, and everything's going
Yeah,
around.
lots of series.
Yeah.
All right, here's another.
Letterkenny put me on it.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
still
just
Northern
plugging
Ontario
that.
I can
resident.
stay at Trish's.
Yeah,
Trish's
she's
mom.
legit.
Yes.
Hey, Trish's
Yeah,
mom.
put Katie and I on. We're a package
Coming
deal.
over. Yeah.
We will stay at my family's place. You will not have to pay for a hotel.
Come on, Jared. Do it. Do it. Do
No,
it.
no pressure, Jay.
Yeah.
All right.
Jared's hot.
Oh, wow. Just
Yes.
keep on it.
I'm so witty.
Yeah.
All right.
True. I agree.
Yeah, me too. I also think Jared is hot, and if you'd like to put me on, yeah.
All right, Trish. Here's one for you. True or
Okay.
false? Has Katie ever played a succubus?
Okay, I'm going to just put this out there. I don't even know what that means.
Katie?
Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. This is the first, I think it's actually the first short film I ever shot.
I think it's your first credit ever.
It is. Let me just preface this by saying nothing dirty happens on camera, much like our series.
What is that? What is that word name?
What is it? A woman who eats a man?
Oh my goodness.
Or
it's what Drew...
Sounds like my ex-boyfriend's.
I don't really know.
It was the series.
That's a whole other conversation.
Not in a perverted way.
Oh my god!
I was gonna...
Okay.
I mean...
You are cut off. No more gin and tonics for you. No drinking in the park. That's it.
What happens in the Sioux stays in the Sioux, Trish.
Yeah.
No, it's just because I suspected an ex might be... He had a lot of
cannibal?
books on
What's
cannibalism.
Oh.
Yeah,
We
that's
have
what...
weird dating stories.
Yeah. So I cut that off and called the police, and they were like, you can't just report somebody for no reason. Just kidding. Anyways.
Well, succubus essentially is...
We should just have some like voiceover come in now and go, a succubus is...
well, somebody who draws sustenance from basically
whoever their
sexual energy. That's basically what it is.
But so that episode though that you played a succubus, like I don't really remember because I actually remember that series because it's an original Toronto web series. Like that was like one of the. It was a long time ago. Yeah, it was like old school, but it was. No, like I remember that episode. I don't remember you being succubus-ish. Like you were just like a girl on a blind date kind of thing.
Yeah, I literally show up to be on a blind date. I'm like supposed to be a wholesome girl in a plaid shirt, and I sit on a couch and talk to this guy, and then and then I didn't even play the succubus.
Yeah, so it made no
somebody
sense.
else did. And then they like
and then
eat
they
him
eat
or
him?
something. I don't know. I can't really remember.
Okay.
But
I'm sorry. I think she
like,
repressed this
Yeah, I
before the
know.
show. I apologize.
Yeah,
for
I
bringing
remember,
that up.
my fault.
I remember
My
at
fault.
the time being like, should I do this role? And I called my mom, and my mom was like, yeah, go for it. So I was like,
You're
okay.
like, Joanne gave me the stamp of approval. I will do it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You can't turn down roles when you're starting out.
No.
It's tough.
Thanks, Ash
All right.
Catherwood, for ruining my career.
That's a shout out. Yeah, shout out.
So, Katie, this one's for you. Trish was on this Canadian children's show at 9 years old.
Oh my
gosh.
God, we watched a clip of this the other day. It's a craft show. She makes a woven placemat, and her sisters are in the background, and she's wearing a
Wait,
really
those are your
ugly
sisters?
t-shirt, and she's adorable in it, and I have no idea what the show's called. Craft
What is-
something. It's not Art Attack, but it's kind of like Art Attack.
Craft something. Craft something.
Craft
It was. That's it. That's the answer. It's craft something.
I'm just gonna throw. Yeah, all right.
It's called Hands Up, Hands On. Now, I've been around this industry for a long time, but I've never heard of Hands Up, Hands On. So, what is it, Trish?
I feel like it played on YTV. It was like we shot it when I was in grade 4. They did this tour that came through the Sioux, and they auditioned kids, and I was like, I want to be on TV. And so I went to the audition, and then they put me on like 9 segments of this, like 9 different episodes of this show, and it played right at noon, which was very embarrassing.
Now, normally when I come to this place, we reduce, we reuse, or we recycle, right, Tricia? What are we reusing today?
Today we're reusing bulrushes.
Oh, that's what these are, bulrushes. What are we making them into?
We're making them into mats, or if you want to make it smaller, you can make it placemat or different things.
I see, a placemat.
Because we would go home for lunch for like 3 years and come back, and kids would be like, I watched you. You're such a nerd.
Oh,
She's
no.
really cute on it.
No, I was
She's
not cute.
So cute.
And I mumbled, and I like
We
was
found that
snotting, and my
clip.
nose was snotty.
And I was going to play for it, but I'm glad you've seen it.
Oh my gosh.
This just came up the other day because
Yeah.
someone asked if we had done anything as a kid, and I showed them.
That
It was so
woman, though,
embarrassing.
who did those shows, like, it was like she just churned out kid shows when we were kids because she had, like,
Yeah, she
Telltale
was
Town,
amazing.
which I do
Telltale.
remember. Yeah.
No, Telltale Town. Yeah.
And then she had another one I forget, but it was like it was all the same style of show.
yeah.
She was just in a beret being kooky with
Yeah,
children.
the beret.
so
It's a
cute.
nice touch.
Lois Walker. I loved her,
Lois
and she was
Walker,
so
yeah.
nice in person. But I was afraid of the camera guys. They were scary.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean scary? They
I
weren't
just
succubuses, were they?
You never know.
You never know with
That's
camera
what
guys.
happened to me.
Indeed.
This has been IMDb because the internet.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you
better than I
go.
thought.
You
I
did
don't-
well.
I don't know. I didn't answer anything correctly.
I can't
was
believe
okay.
I did.
Am I right that she has 58 actress credits?
Yes. I didn't look that
Yeah.
up. Did you look that
I
up?
got that.
Wow.
I got something.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you've seen each other's stuff, and that's what's really important.
Yeah, of course.
I saw The Void the other night.
And how'd that go?
It was scary.
Yeah, it was scary.
Are you a
very
big horror
scary.
movie person? No. So the second season is going to be like a Get Out inspired thing or anything
You
like
know
that?
what?
Yeah.
I don't mind a good thriller, but I hate gory stuff. Like, I pass out if I get a needle, so I just can't handle it. But.
Yeah,
But
I like gore. I think it's fun,
Yeah.
but I like it when I know it's fake. So I like
Yeah.
horror movies and
I
working
can be
on them.
in them,
Yeah,
but even then, I don't like all that. What is it? The latex crap that they
The
put all over
prosthetics,
you.
I love it. I just find
hate
it like
that.
so funny. But in real life, I'm the same way with needles.
You like them?
No, I don't.
You said that all sultry, too. You like them?
I
No,
love
I hate
needles.
getting needles. I feel faint.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with watching scissors be pulled out of someone's eye, like in
Ew.
The Void. I don't know, because I know it's fake, because I've been around it.
But we're talking about like getting roles all the time and having to write something for yourself. I'm assuming you must try out for like 1,000 different horror movies because that seems to be like Canada 101.
Yeah.
I
Where it's just
tried
like
out for one
murder
this week.
victim.
Yeah, you did. I watched her audition video.
It was
It was
not
impressive.
very good.
I love it. I love it.
When you sat down and were like, we want to make something for ourselves, what was the thought process that you weren't getting in your like day to day? Like, what's the kind of roles? What were the things that you wanted to do? Directing, obviously, something that you probably don't get a shot at unless you immediately start your own project. It's a hard thing for not only just anyone to get into, but women in this country in general. It's a harder, ceiling to crack. So tell me a bit about that idea of doing your own thing.
Well, I think that we both wanted to play more complex characters than we usually get a shot at. Usually I audition for a waitress or a prostitute.
And I get the mom a lot. I don't have an agent at the moment, but when I did have an agent, I was always going out for mom roles.
Or I also played a lot of victims.
Always mom.
I think I got killed on TV like 7 times.
Wow.
Always the girl who was
Really?
like... Yeah.
I wonder why that is. Why am I mom and why
Yeah.
are you the girl that gets killed?
Victim. Yeah.
Have
I
you
don't know,
ever played-
something about me just
Yeah.
says, poor
Victim.
you. Yeah.
Weird.
That's why they gave us all that money.
Yeah, the reason why you got the victim role helped really when you get to Indiegogo.
I just got into character. Please.
Help me.
Don't let us fail.
those skills you never thought would come back around, and here they are.
I think I just wanted to be like someone my age or maybe a couple years younger and just do a fun role and not be like the mom to the 10-year-old who's like silent on camera in a commercial, which I wouldn't complain about getting, but at the same time I just want to have like I wanted a strong character arc.
Yeah.
As did Katie. We just wanted to play leading roles and
We
we
did. And my
we wanted
day-
to have fun.
Yeah, totally. And my day job's at a casting office, and I have realized over the past 3 years that there are very few roles for women, period. And, like, there are hardly
That's true.
any roles for women over 40. It's insane. I see maybe one audition every 2 months for a woman over 40
That's
in
so
TV
sad.
and film. And so we made a point to write 50-50 male-female characters to give equal opportunities
Yeah.
to both sexes, and we have many
Everyone.
women
Yeah.
that are in a slightly older demographic,
Yeah,
and we're
great
proud of that, and I think
Yeah.
they're amazing in the show.
They're so amazing.
And also a great actors you've got like Jane Locke, you've got Angela Asher,
Yeah.
all these people, and also you got a diverse cast too.
Yeah.
So Juan Carlos Velez is in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Natasha
he's awesome.
Bromfield.
yeah.
Name checking
Ellen
all over the
Dubin.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellen Dubin, Jane Luke,
AC Peterson.
Yeah.
PJ Latzik.
Oh, you're gonna
Lasik?
forget somebody
Lasik,
at this
Lasik.
point.
I always forget how to
I'll
say
ask you
Lasik.
later, PJ.
How do you pronounce your last
Bobby
name?
Del Rio, he's diverse.
And he's a lot.
Is that on Bobby's
I'm
business
sure he's
card?
gonna love that.
He's also older
Bobby and
than
I
most
are
people
like
would
really
think.
good friends, so I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it made it easy for me as a director because they all have so much experience that the performances were. I mean, I did give direction, but they took the direction very well and were super pro.
Would you say that's probably like one of the biggest tips coming out of the show for you is to like if you're a first time director on this, I assume, right? Yes.
I did a short film, but that I co-directed, but this is my first time directing by myself.
And so I suppose that like a good piece of advice is make sure all of your actors are super experienced because it makes life a lot easier if you're not juggling plates and spinning plates and catching them on the first day of shooting.
Yeah.
When everyone knows what a mark is.
I do think that's true. Cast great actors that are good in the roles, but then also if you're working with talent that is more experienced than you, don't be afraid to direct them and work with them. And occasionally a few people, one actor in particular kind of gave me a little bit of a hard time, and I pushed back. Because just because I'm a woman in her 20s directing doesn't mean that you get to decide what the scene's about.
That's a good piece
so
of
don't
advice.
be afraid to stand up for your vision because it's
your
your show, and at the end of the day, you got to be happy with it.
100%.
I think that's a real big important point for anybody who does their first thing. Because we were like, I remember when we did our first series, it's the same thing, right? When you're like in your 20s and you're trying to think about, okay, I've got to do all these things, but you're really intimidated because you're responsible for a lot of things as a director, and if you've never done it before, you have to sort of exude confidence because you'll get those actors that know I smell blood in the water, I can get away with like doing what I want, and you have to sometimes be, especially it's harder I think for people that wear multiple hats because you're trying to be caring, you're trying to be nurturing as a director, but sometimes you do have to say, no, this is my vision, and this makes sense for this scene. Trust me, especially when you wrote it.
Especially when you're the writer as
Yeah,
well. Like
you understand the intention. It's like, this is what it's about.
Yeah, trust me on this.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that's
I
why
have a feeling.
I'm also really glad we had Katie direct it because we kind of like at the beginning we had a few different directors in town reached out and said they would direct it for us, but then it wouldn't have been. No. Like it's nice to have. As
a co-writer, I'm curious if you were actually felt more comfortable knowing that your writing, what you worked on, was going to be
because
taken
we
care of.
talked about these characters like every day for 7 months. We sat there and wrote it. Like we knew these characters inside and out, and we knew like that we had all the little conversations we had just when we weren't even working, but just as friends about like what we want for our careers, everything. Like it just no one else could have brought that to life. Bringing an outsider in. So yeah, I'm so happy.
Coming from a small place, or smaller place in Toronto, tell me, let's give a little sass to Torontonians for a second. You come from Sault Ste. Marie.
Yes.
One of the things I've always loved about Torontonians is that up north is like Eglinton. Anything past Eglinton is up north to them. You're like, where are you going this weekend? Up north.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Was it a bit of a shock when you first moved here? Did you immediately, like, once you came from the SwearNet situation and you knew you wanted to pursue it, how was the transition period for you to, like, enter the scene, if you will?
That's a really good question. I moved here, and I would ask a friend who had moved here from the Sioux to pursue acting for advice, and he was like, be a background performer. And, like, that was his advice.
Did you take it?
I tried it a couple times, but I was like, no.
Were you having
because you're too. Anytime I've done it, you're too close to what you want to be doing, so it's heartbreaking because you're like, I could be doing that. Like I can't. I don't want to sit around all day and watch somebody else do what I want to be doing.
Makes sense, yeah.
Like it's just like it's heartbreaking. So I don't know. I just kind of, I worked as a PA on a couple of films. I actually went up to Sudbury, so I went back, and I wanted to just build a network of people, and I just thought if I get to know people, if they know me, then I can show them what I can do. So I worked as a director's assistant on a Sony movie, and I worked on a horror movie that was shot by a guy in LA, Ian Kessner, and I just wanted to build a connection with people, and then I went and did like a bunch of little indie short films, and then I thought, okay, if I like post clips on my Facebook and whatever, they'll see that I am an actor and I'll have these connections. So I don't know, I kind of just kind of hustled behind the scenes and in front of the camera just to try to, I don't know, harass people into watching me and noticing me.
No, I think it's important to like, I don't know. Yeah, like, but I think it's important. One of the things that I noticed a lot is I think because of the internet and the idea of viral and the things that, certain things go and become big hits immediately. But then even when you see those people afterwards, a lot of the times they say to us, like, I wish we had done X. I wish I had more experience. I wish I could have handled this better. Yeah. I feel like when you're both talking about your experience in the industry, like, this was the time to take on a project like this for you. Would you agree, like, that you really felt like you could handle all aspects of it, and you were finally at a place where not only could you direct and write something, but you really knew how to take it from point A all the way through? So crowdfunding, like, you knew enough, you had networked enough. It's a lot of work to put something like this.
We were lucky because I did Katie chats for so many years. I have a fairly large network of people in the industry, and I'd say 90% of our Indiegogo contributions were from people I had interviewed who kind of were paying me back.
So for those of you who don't know, I just want to remind people what Katie Chats was for people who maybe, didn't see it. But Katie Chats was, like, really well known in Canada for, you would stand on red carpets and interview people, and it was a YouTube channel, and it was something that you were everywhere. Like, I like, somebody was joking around and was like, there's, like, who's in the scene? I'm like, well, Katie Uhlmann, obviously, because you were just everywhere I went. You were there, and either you were there just because you're always hustling in the scene and you're getting things done, or you were there doing Katie Chats. So Katie Chats was you read a carpet, you interviewed people, you threw it up on the internet.
My mom was my cameraman.
Nice.
Joanne Uhlmann. She's
Shout
amazing.
out.
Hey, Mom, love you.
She edited those too,
She edited them. She shot
Does your mom have industry experience then, or was that just supportive?
No, she learned, and she was the brains behind it. She would always say, Katie, someday this will pay off. And she would always say to me, well, I remember her saying to me, I could give you money, but my time is so much more valuable, and someday this is going to help you in your career, and you're going to, like, really realize the value in it. Because I always wanted to be an actor and a director, and I'd be like, oh, I hate being on, like, I loved it, and I am grateful that I got to do it and meet so many people, but just there became a point where I felt like it was like food in front of a hungry dog. But it has helped, and it was a great experience.
And if not anything else, it was really an altruistic thing that you did as well, in terms of, because especially in this country, it's not a whole lot of platforms for people to actually push their shows, talk about what they're doing, and you gave them a platform, so that's commendable.
We tried, and I had a policy where we didn't turn anybody away. So if it was a film student, I would say yes, and if it was a Canadian Screen Award nominee or an Oscar nominee, we would obviously say yes. But I really wanted to help up and coming talent just as much as bigger fish.
When we had WEBFEST in 2015, we had people from New York and DC and a couple of people ever from overseas. And the one thing they said to us was like, that was really cool. Like, we got an interview, and I would watch you, because there was a couple of people, like, that for BuzzFeed, different, higher levels of internet importance, if you will. And everybody was treated the same, and everybody came away with, like, a smile on their face, being like, that was really fun. And sometimes it's their first entry point into what we would call, like, the industry, right?
Yeah.
And so Katie Chats was awesome, and I hope somebody takes up that mantle and does that again, because you always need somebody that treats everyone equally and puts the content out. And you did really good interviews too. Like, let's just, like, go back to the square one of, like, the content was good too. So I mean, it was really great. So
every time I Google a Canadian actor, or even, like, actors from LA, if I'm trying to explain to someone, I saw this movie, this actor was in it, who's that? I Google them, and a Katie Chats photo of them comes up. My sister thought that was really cool, too. She's like, I looked up this actor, and, like, Katie's face popped up with them right away. It's like, she's done a lot of interviews.
Why I brought that up wasn't just to be, Katie's awesome, but also people
But she is.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I know, I spent a lot of time with her. She is.
People don't think about that work that goes into the moment that you go to crowdfunding. People think, I'm going to go to crowdfunding, put my hand out.
Yeah, that's the thing. People keep asking me for advice for crowdfunding, and I'm like,
do the work.
You got to find a way to get out there and meet people and do things, help them out. Yeah. Help other people out. And then when you need a hand, they'll be there for you. It's reciprocity. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the big thing that I always try to drill into people's heads that come to IWCC for help. It's like, you can't just sit in your room and, like, tweet. You have to go out and do things for others and meet people. And yes, the internet's amazing, But the internet's way more amazing when you have real-life connections that you can utilize on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, like, this is, like, a great project that shows people how to do that really well, which is, you know, put your time in, do something good, work with people that have experience more than you, work with people who are maybe sometimes less experienced, but, like, you have kind of the gamut on this show of experience levels, of age ranges, so it's important.
And you've created this synergy of bringing in, you know, people who create web content and then at the same time experienced veterans from film and television, and you've created this, you know, for lack of a better term, community too, right, with that show. That's pretty cool.
Speaking of shouting people out, let's do our weekly shout-outs. So,
cool.
Every week, we gather the people on the Twitters and the Facebooks, and we say, hey, who's got a project, who's doing something that needs a little bit of a shout-out? I'm going to start it off in Winnipeg with Samurai Guitar Man. He fuses mastery of guitar with his love of video games and popular music, along with tips for mastering a musical life. It's an amazing YouTube channel. You should check out the hockey song. Yes, that hockey song. It's made with only hockey-related instruments, and he made a guitar out of just hockey sticks. So
Wow, that's so cool.
That's so Canadian.
It's so Canadian.
Canadian.
Yeah, we don't
love it.
We don't need Cancon to tell us to make Canadian. There's a guy in Winnipeg
Wow.
who's got us covered.
Somebody
That
give
is
this guy
amazing.
a grant.
Yeah.
Vince, who's up next?
I'm going all the way to Vancouver. From space, sci-fi to chats about astronomy, check out Vancouver's Fraser Cain's Universe Today YouTube channel, and be sure to check out their live weekly space hangout every Friday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.
That is like
Cool.
the most nerdy thing, but
Yeah.
awesome. Like
I love
it's
space.
yeah, he does a really good job too, and he was part of the Next Up program. So YouTube actually selected him because they think he's going to be the next thing on
Yeah.
Wow.
on the YouTube. So that's
That's
something cool.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
You should check our Twitter more often because
Yeah.
when we do, we ask for shout outs, and sometimes people respond and they get a shout out.
Yes.
So this is actually a rabbit hole, quite literally, on YouTube.
Yes.
This is called Culturally Effed. It's a YouTube series that is an exploration of anthropomorphic artwork throughout history, culture, and mass media to learn more about humanity's fascination with animals. There's some furry stuff on there, I'm not kidding you.
No, yeah. You are not
Wow.
kidding.
We will shout out what you ask us to shout out.
Yep.
That's an actually interesting. It goes from like Walt Disney, different cartoons. Like he really takes an in-depth look at like animals and how they interact with humans and how we've depicted animals. So if you're into animals, kids,
I love animals.
Culturally Effed is something to check out.
Puppy.
And finally, Vince, let's go to the podcasting world for our final shout out this week.
Toronto Mic'd Podcast. That's what I want to get. That's who
Oh,
I want
yeah.
to give a shout out to. This has to be the best local podcast in Canada.
Amen.
Toronto Mike interviews Toronto media personalities from his Toronto home. Our favorite, of course, interview is Mark Weisblad from 1236, but there's a lot of great interviews on this podcast. PJ Phil was on.
PJ Fresh Phil was on it?
Yeah.
Wait,
And-
PJ Phil from like
YTV
YTV days?
yes,
I
yeah.
actually met him in a park last summer.
Was he drinking?
I can't say if he was, but people there were.
Was Snit there?
Oh.
Oh
was
my
the
gosh,
zone?
imagine? That's so crazy. And I recognized him right away. I loved him.
Yeah, he was cool.
I had his postcard on my wall growing up. I like
thought you
wrote
were
to
say poster. I
him.
was like, there were YTV
No,
posters?
a postcard. I wrote to him, and he sent me an autographed postcard. So when I saw him in the park last year, I was like, I had your poster on my wall.
That's
What
cool.
did he say?
My,
Get away
I
from
think
me.
yeah.
Well, no,
That's
he was-
enough.
He was really nice. He was nice about it.
Oh dear God, why did I do that Scholastic deal? Anyways, it's a must listen. It's torontomike.com/podcast.
Can we do a shout out?
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
We would like to shout out to Maple Syrup Shots in Saskatoon. They're amazing. And I also want to give a shout out to, it's a new CBC web series called Save Me, and Fab
Filippo.
Filippo
Yes, that's
has made it, and I watched the trailer today. It's coming out soon, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Cool.
You guys were mentioned along with him. John Doyle mentioned both of you at the same time in the piece
Oh, in
that
the
he
Globe
wrote.
and Mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I found out about it, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
And
what's
then you
this?
liked it.
And I liked it, yeah.
Interesting
Cool.
tidbit of information.
Uh-oh.
Fab's previous series, Billable Hours,
Yes.
had Jane Locke in it.
Oh.
Yeah, she had a recurring role.
We researched it,
yeah.
guys.
She was amazing
is
in our show.
So nice.
I love her. Yeah, she's such a sweetheart.
I think she's such a lovely lady and so respectful and kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and an amazing actress.
Yeah, I
but
love
yeah.
But a great person. That's
yeah,
for sure.
an even better person. Yeah.
Cool.
Keeping the shout-out train rolling, I want to segue nicely into our music segment. So this week, our musical guest is from Edmonton, now hanging out with the rest of us here in Toronto. It's Emily Coulston, pursuing her music career here in Toronto. Check out her channel on YouTube. But first, listen to this track. It's a cover of Weeknd's Sidewalks. Here it is, Emily Coulston. Yeah! Woo!
Tears when I was 18, so nobody made me but the main streets, 'cause too many people think they made me, but if they really made me then replace me. Homeless to forces, these others bring no stress. I feel like Moses, feel like I'm chosen, and if you ain't with us, your girl's single to me. I don't give a damn if your friend says he knew me. Grew up with no father, so nobody ever saw me. My flow too sick, Kevin Costner couldn't touch me. I know you wish nobody ever loved me, but feel useless when I'm never making money. Oh, well, this the life we always fantasize. Rich folk problem through Queen Street kid size. Every time you see me pulling up in Aventadors, just know we've been grinding on them sidewalks. Sidewalks save my life. They don't ever lie. Sidewalks save my life. They show me all the signs, and they don't let me down, but they lead me on. They don't let me down, but they lead me on.
Woo!
That was Emily Coulston doing Sidewalks. You can find that cover on the YouTube page, Emily519, and you can follow her Toronto exploits on Instagram. Once again, all of these shoutouts will be compiled. It's going to be a rough week this week.
Yes.
All of these shoutouts will be compiled and put on the homepage, so take a look at the link when you see this podcast, and all of the shoutouts are there. So be sure to check out all of these amazing people every week. And if you're on the YouTubes, we playlist it. So all you have to do is click play, and all of this stuff will come up, and you can sit back, relax, and enjoy it.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Final amazing plugs for the show. Tell us where can people find it? Tell them where you can go. I want to see as many views on this show this week as possible.
www.myroommatesandscort.com. On Twitter
At Escort Roommate.
on Instagram at myroommatesandscort.
And I just have to say, watch all of it. Watch
Yeah.
every episode.
Yeah,
Don't stop at 3.
It gets better.
On that positive, uplifting note, it gets better. Hashtag MRAE, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
Hashtag
all of that, you'll find it all on the Twitter. We're here every week, Thursday, bringing you stuff. Also, we started a YouTube page for this thing, so check out Creatortown on YouTube now. And as I said, check out the playlist, because all the shout-outs are in there, and you can take a look at everything that we talked about this week. It's all worth watching. I'm Dan Spear, and
that's sweet.
Vince Kizomurthy. Thank you to our guests.
Oh,
Yay.
thank you so much,
you
guys.
That was a lot of fun.
So good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, everyone, for listening. That's been the show. We'll see you next week.